Another area of our life, it's time for Diana to look bad. And that,
Thank you.
Yeah, and that was the area of promise keeping.
Well, a promise is a promise, right? And when I was growing up, as you know, my dad was an alcoholic, and he would promise me things when he was drunk, probably, like take me to the park or something, and he never carried through. So I got this thing in my head, a promise is a promise, you know, my dad didn't keep promises, and I carried that through my life.
Yeah. And so in our marriage, if I would agree or promise to do something and once in a while forgot to do it, what would happen?
I would get pretty mad. And you weren't a promise breaker.
Yeah, I would ask Diana when she'd
Yeah.
get upset at me, that sometimes out of proportion to the event I'd forgotten, and I'd say, am I a promise breaker? And she'd say no.
Yeah.
But she was so hung up on promise breaking that when I'd say, look, why are you coming on me so strongly? And you'd say,
You deserve it.
I deserve it.
You broke a promise.
Which brings us to number 5.
When self is alive, it convinces me you are wrong, allowing me to treat you any way I want, and it's your fault.
What do you think of that? You're kind of quiet this afternoon. This is huge. Another way of saying it, I'll mistreat you so you can blame your bad behavior on me, if you'll mistreat me so I can blame my bad behavior on you. This is huge. If people are not relating to us the way we think, somehow it justifies us treating them any way we want, and it's their fault. They deserve it. Well, the promise issue came to a head one day. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, it did. We were driving down the hill and to a meeting, and I said, well, on the way back, let's go off this exit and get an ice cream cone. And he agreed, and he made a promise. And going back up the hill, he got to the exit, and I expected him to turn.
And you were watching to see if I'd turn.
Yeah.
But notice she didn't remind me. She didn't help me at all.
I was kind of over here. Yeah. So we got past the exit, and I said, you promised that we could stop for an ice cream cone.
Only she didn't say it that nicely. She said it with attitude. And
yeah, probably.
You kind of say, well, if I had said to her, hey, let's just turn around the next exit and come back.
I wouldn't have eaten it.
See, self is amazing. I mean, isn't it crazy?
I'm stubborn enough, I wouldn't have eaten.
No. And hey, listen, she was justified. I was wrong,
That's
and I
right.
behaved badly, and so
Yeah.
she could be critical of me. Well, it was pretty quiet in the car the rest of the way home, and before we got home, I said to her again, do you think I'm a promise breaker? And she said, no, I don't think you're a promise breaker. And then I said this to her, and I'd said it before, but she hadn't heard it. I said to her, I think you're sending me mail that belongs to your dad.
Yeah. And I realized it then, at that moment, that that was true. And it just washed over me that, yeah, that is true. And emotionally, it just filled me.
Yeah, and she was actually teary in realizing. I mean, it was kind of a Holy Spirit moment of conviction. Mm-hmm. And this is a lot of years ago, and never once has she landed out on me since. Not one time for missing and forgetting something and breaking a promise. See, that's new life. Okay.